We're joined in the studio here by Marc Schulman, editor-in-chief of History Central. Mark, just this issue around the letter is certainly just food for thought here and some discussion here. What's the impact of these sort of ongoing revelations that appear to keep coming around this, for now, defunct annexation issue here by Netanyahu, these leaks? What do you think the impact is on the whole landscape?
I don't really know. I mean, the fact is Barak Ravid responded to this, and he's the guy who wrote the book, so to speak, on this story. And basically what he said, put this into perspective, that yes, this was a letter. If Netanyahu did A, B, C, and D, Netanyahu never did A, B, C, and D. And I think what Kushner was saying was that Friedman was saying, you don't have to do A, B, C, and D. I'll get Trump to approve it without the A, B, C, and D.
So there's different personalities involved in this.
Very much personalities, very much a question. I mean, Kushner sees himself as the person who really was behind the plan. I mean, he was the one who worked on it. Whether you like or dislike Kushner, he really was the plan more than he did it. He did it and came up with it more than anything else. So I would go with him more than anything else.
And looking at this issue of annexation again, this forces us to re-examine how that made just so much impact in the moment, albeit didn't go anywhere at the time. Would a new Prime Minister Netanyahu renew his push for annexation? Do you have any insight to that issue?
I don't think so. I mean, look, he had Trump at the time as president. I mean, Trump could become president again in 3 years, or he could be in prison. Who knows? But
we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah.
But the reality is, if he has a Trump again as president, that's going to be, it's not going to be now. Yeah. Biden's going to be president in any case for another 2.5 years. I don't think so. Look, Netanyahu never really wanted annexation. The problem with the right has always been, what's the vision, right? In other words, the left has a vision. It may not be possible, but 2 states, you can at least figure out what would be. It may not work. It may be a terrible idea, but at least you can understand it. Yeah. The right's vision of annexation, and then what? I mean, what do we do? What sort of country do we have? Do we give them all rights? Do we become really an apartheid state? So there really is no answer. And Netanyahu has been really good at sort of walking the line, talking the talk, but not actually doing anything. And I think he would continue if he becomes prime minister, but again,
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing appeared at the time to be a self-created issue that he brought out. Didn't seem to be pressure really coming from any side to push annexation forward in that moment. So, of course, I guess we'll find out. But I do want to get your thoughts on President Trump here a little more deeply here as we look at the latest now Republicans. More and more of them, prominent ones, coming out to support former President Trump. They came together for a rally now, the first since the FBI search of the president's Florida home. Here's a look at the latest.
East meets West in a show of a united Republican front. The headliner of this Arizona rally, Florida governor and possible 2024 hopeful Ron DeSantis.
From the beaches of Florida to the deserts of Arizona, November 8th, 2022 is going to be the day that America fights back.
To energize this Phoenix crowd, DeSantis turned his political fire to the news in his state, the FBI search of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
They're enforcing the law based on who they like and who they don't like. That is not a republic. Well, it may be. It's a banana republic when that happens.
Echoed by Republican nominee for Arizona Governor Kari Lake, heavy on grievance, light on facts.
And then these people sent politically motivated federal agents to President Donald Trump's home and raided it. How dare they?
This is the first large political rally since the Mar-a-Lago search.
How much is that affecting Republicans who are going to be voting this year in the midterms?
Well, I hope it's a lot. I hope it ignites people, gets them out there, and they want to help support the Republican ticket.
After what happened on Monday, we have to show our support for the president, the real president anyway.
Here in Arizona, where Trump's 2020 election lie still thrives in a big swath of the GOP, his endorsed candidate swept in the state's primary. Kari Lake defeated a Republican backed by former Vice President Mike Pence and the establishment.
The Republican Party isn't your great-great-grandfather's party anymore.
U.S. Senate candidate Blake Masters is also Trump endorsed.
It will be Arizona first and America first all the way.
The proof is in the primary, say voters in this crowd, that the more centrist Arizona Republican Party of John McCain is gone.
We feel McCain is a total traitor. I believe he was a rhino.
In this theater, party unity and its success in November is under the banner of Trump.
Still with Marc Schulman in the studio here, getting into this issue snowballing in some way. Mark, since the FBI went in there, I mean, there's been these opinions put out there. Did this FBI raid on Margo Largo in some ways catapult Trump back to the White House? Is it too soon to say?
Okay, look, it's a little bit too soon to say. It certainly pushed him back into the center of discussion. You know, the problem with the people who are saying it's catapulted him back into the White House, the reality is it looks very clear at this point that he had secret documents in Margo Largo. Now, what exactly was in those documents, we don't know yet, but eventually we're going to find out. And what are these people going to say? I mean, first of all, say it isn't true, it's all a lie. And I guess you can live in that alternative universe. I mean, I heard people being interviewed this morning from Utah, people who are against Liz Cheney, and you know, their belief that Trump won the election, and the reporter asks them, but there's absolutely no proof. The Republicans keep on doing the recounts and they come up with everything. Well, they're lying because they don't want to get involved in it. So we're living in an alternative universe where no facts seem to matter when it comes to these things.
Sentiments from people in this report saying, oh, the real president.
Right, I mean, the real president, they believe that. And, you know, what I find sad, I guess, is the fact that the Republican leadership keeps on coming back and again backing him.
Prominent leadership.
I mean, just think about it.
Kevin McCarthy.
Right. I mean, let's think what we're talking about here. Forget the details. Go back to the conspiracy theories, overturning the election. The fact of the matter, it's clearly a crime to have top secret documents in your house, quote unquote, after you've already received a subpoena. You've claimed you've given them back. I mean, it's a very clear black and white sort of situation here, and yet they're defending him.
Is Trump untouchable? I mean, are we looking at this situation now where because of his political clout, because of the divergent, because of the polarized nature of the whole discussion, is he untouchable?
Well, remember what he said before the first time elected, that I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, my supporters will still, I'll manage. True. I mean, there is some truth to that. Look, the question is, he can clearly be indicted, and I believe he will be indicted. However, will they be able to get 12 jurors in the United States of America today? I mean, you got to believe there got to be one or two holdouts who are going to say, no, it couldn't be true, it's false. I mean, that's going to be a real challenge, to say the least, if he's guilty. Yeah. And look, it's in a situation that it's really hard when you really think about it. We step back a second. We think about all the investigations going on about Trump at the moment, the ones previously, and despite the fact that Republicans say there was nothing there, the Mueller report did not clear him. It just decided that he didn't want to indict a sitting president. No. And we can go all the way through. There's so many different issues right now. There's so many investigations, grand juries. Look, when there's smoke, there's fire. Look at the people around him right now. The report is that his CFO, Chief Financial Officer, is about to enter into a plea deal, which means his chief financial officer in Trump is going to prison for things that...
yet to see how much it really affects the former president. Marc Schulman, thanks for being with us. We are stepping out for another break, though. We'll be right back with much more.